Good morning, students of Standard 10th. Here I am with the second video on the poem Amanda, which has been written by Robin Klein. It is about theme. Let's just go into the theme of the poem. What is the poem about? Poem is about when we over-discipline our children, they find refuge or by drifting into a make-believe world, thereby living in a dreamland, avoiding the reality that faces them. Let's start with, we had already covered the first couple of stanzas. Today we will continue with the next few stanzas. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There's a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. This explanation has already been covered by you. How the parent wants to get her posture correct and how Amanda, just in order to avoid the nagging, she decides that she would drift into a make-believe world where she's alone in a sea, unapproachable, and so she could avoid being nagged. A choice of being a mermaid makes us think that mermaids are generally considered to be away from people. It's a mythical character, very difficult to be seen. The allusion has been used to justify her thought that she wants to be away from people telling her how to live. She wants to do nothing. She wants to basically lie idly, and that's what that reflects her present mood. But the mother wouldn't have it, and mother wants the girl to must appear to be perfect at any point of time. We're moving on to the next pair of stanzas. That's third and fourth. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Rhyme scheme, if you see, A, B, A, that is without a parenthesis, and the stanza within the parenthesis is A. Street, feet, and sweet. They all rhyme with each other. The parent asks Amanda if she had finished her homework. She is asked if she had tidied her room. She has been asked to clean her shoes also. The parent asks her if she had done that. Basically, the duties of a child that the child is supposed to do to be self-dependent, that is finishing your homework, then the place you live, you should keep that tidy, and your clothes and other accessories should always be neat and clean. That is a personal responsibility of everybody, and most houses, children are made to do their own thing so that they become responsible about themselves and become self-dependent, self-reliant. Education would give them freedom, independence, and the other discipline would make their life comfortable and easy. Exactly, that's what going through the mother's mind. Hence, she wants to know whatever duties a child is supposed to have accomplished at a certain point of a time of a day, has that been completed by Amanda. Now, how does Amanda react to that? But Amanda is lost in her own thoughts. She imagined herself to be an orphan with no parents to nag her. So basically, why did she choose to be an orphan? Now, this is the level of disgust she has for her parents now, that she is better off without them. She hopes both of them were dead so that she wouldn't be nagged again and told what to do. Basically, her idea is she can no longer take commands from the parents. She wants to do her own thing. Simply put, if she feels lazy, she wants to lie without anybody telling her to get up and do something else, because she is not in a mood to do so. Typical teenage behavior. They behave like that. That's when they need emotional support from the parents, understanding from the parents, Here, the parents are showing immaturity. A child is also showing immaturity, but the child is supposed to be immature. There is nothing wrong about it. But parents could change that mindset not by just scolding them and forcing them to do what they're supposed to do. They have also catered to their emotional requirements. And the child is so disgusted, she is done with the nagging, and she now wouldn't mind if her parents were dead and she was an orphan, because she would be happily doing whatever she wanted. Now, what does she want to do? She feels happy in being an orphan. She imagines that she is roaming in the street with bare feet. She is making soft patterns as she puts her feet gently in the dust. There is all silence about her, with no one to nag her. For the little girl, the silence is golden, and that freedom she will get as an orphan would be sweet. She feels she is better off roaming around barefooted. She doesn't mind getting her feet dirty. She, in fact, wants to play in the dirt. She wants to draw patterns, different shapes on the ground with her bare feet. She doesn't mind to get her feet dirty. She had been asked to clean her shoes. She is better off walking bare feet. That's why the example of the Robin Klein chose bare feet as an example to show how she is revolting against the parents. She is asked to clean her shoes. She says somehow feels she is better off without the shoes. She wants to roam around, draw shapes on or patterns on in the dirt, and feel happy like that. Why is she happy? Basically, what is making her happy? What does she need? She needs silence. She want nobody to disturb her. She doesn't want to be told what to do, and hence she is behaving like that. Right? For her, that silence is golden, precious. When you say golden compared to gold, it means gold is precious. The silence is golden means, and his silence is as precious as gold. It's drawing similarity towards them. And freedom is sweet. Again, the sweetness of freedom is being compared that nothing can be sweeter than when you are free to do whatever you wish to do. The next pair, the last pair actually, after that there is a single stanza. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda? Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? While Amanda is eating a chocolate, the mother is upset with that. Now, how does Amanda react to that? I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Now, what happened when Rapunzel let down her bright hair? Prince Charming climbed up the tomb she was, or the dome she was locked in. Anyway, that is unimportant. But basically, she lived alone. That's the important point to be noticed here. Now, let's see the explanation. The parent sees Amanda eating a chocolate and tells her not to eat it. The parents say that Amanda must not have forgotten the acne that she had got previously. Basically, eating chocolate leads to acne. That's the belief of the parent, and that parent doesn't want Amanda to get another acne. However, Amanda is lost in her own dreams and doesn't look up to the parent. At this, the parent feels irritated. He says that Amanda should at least look at him or her when he or her is speaking to Amanda. That's the basic idea. That's basic courtesy. Whenever somebody speaks to us, it's our courtesy. We should not ignore and look at something else. That gives them a bad feeling. But Amanda doesn't bother about it. But Amanda remains lost in her dreams. She imagines herself to be golden-haired Rapunzel who lived in a castle and had no care. Amanda imagines that life for Rapunzel must have been very peaceful and wonderful in the tower. However, she says she won't let down her bright hair the way Rapunzel had done. All the troubles of Rapunzel, as we know, had started because of her doing so. The Prince Charming started visited, and then the witch took over the other things. So this is the explanation completed. I will come with the poetic devices and other important aspects of this poetry in the next video. Till then, all of you take care, be well, stay safe, and goodbye from me. Bye.